Welcome to the Sunday League Show. I'm your humble host and expat, Nico Potocznik, joined by my assistants,
co-host,
and dad, Billy Potocznik. This is a show where we talk all things football. So let's kick it off. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sunday League Show, episode 15.
15.
Today, we are almost done with our series where we review all the leagues. Of course, we'll be going over our top 5. And there's Nacho again. And then we'll be going over why not to watch Ligue 1 and why to watch Ligue 1. We love the Ligue 1. And we're going to a Ligue 1 game tonight. Monaco versus FC Sochaux. Let's get into it, guys. Remember to leave a like and subscribe.
He's not going, though.
No, he's not.
He is not going. But I tell you what, he's quickly becoming a fan of all the teams we're fans of.
Yeah.
I can tell.
He watches the Arsenal.
I can tell last week when Arsenal drew at home to Fulham.
He was mad.
He was a little bit upset already. He's just a little bit upset. You know, that's part of being a fan, buddy.
But anyway,
A little bit upset.
Let's get into it.
Boom.
Boof.
All right, so I know we're going to get into our top 5, Nico. But look at this. I mean, are we the epitome of fashion and style? I mean, look at this. We are a smorgasbord of Frenchness. Look at that. So tell me about what you got going.
Well, right now, I went to the stadium, and we got this Toulouse t-shirt. A great stadium, by the way.
Yeah, it's a cool stadium, very welcoming.
I got the PSG scarf, absolutely immaculate.
Years ago.
In Paris, though.
Yeah.
Like, Nice. Best club in France.
Is it the best club in France? Is it really? Okay, all right. Well, I'm glad you asked about mine. I got the Nice scarf on, wore this to the game last weekend. Got the Toulouse hat on. Toulouse has got a great logo. You know, OGC's got a great logo too. And then, of course, the 1998 French World Cup jersey that the great Zinedine Zidane and company wore. That's ridiculous. I'm not a boomer. These young folks don't even know what that is. I mean, I'm not even close.
I'm kidding. That is an amazing jersey.
This is from 1998. Actually, it is an amazing jersey, but I want to get one that fits better. The jerseys back then were really big, so this thing is like big enough. I could fit 2 of me in here. They're really big.
Zidane on the back.
Zinedine Zidane on the back.
Immaculate.
So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And of course, they're the best team in the world. And they dominated Brazil 3-0 in the World Cup final. And then they won the Euros in 2000. So let's get on with it, Nico. Enough of the fashionista stuff.
Yeah, because we're just Fashion Week bros, you know?
Yeah, there we go.
All right, top 5. My 5th is Stade Rennes.
Stade Rennes at number 5. Okay. What do you like about Rennes?
I like their logo.
I tell you what, you get the highest level football analysis here with this show. Number 5, you like the logo.
I mean, they're always good. They're always a solid
good.
club. Finishing 5th or 6th, I have them 5th here.
That's true. So, and you know the thing about, let's say the thing about 4 and 5, it's kind of a crapshoot because we could be kind of safe with 1, 2, and 3. But 4 and 5, you might as well just go with your heart. You know, here's what I got. You want to get blown away? You ready to get blown away? You saw my notes? Okay, but they didn't.
Bias.
They didn't see my. It's not personal bias. This is just. You got to throw it out there.
Fun. It's
you
fun.
know who's going to get 5th this year?
Don't blame us.
Lorient, the sardines. I don't think they're called the sardines, but that looks like a sardine on their logo. That's a cool logo too, by the way.
I think it's.
We should do a logo show. Should we do a logo show?
We should do a logo show.
Yeah, we'll do a logo show. All right. So anyway, or badge. We'll call it badge. So the Lorient's going to finish 5th, and finishing 4th for me is none other than Toulouse. TFC.
Beautiful stadium.
Just cool club, you know, cool city, and they're just filling it up. You know, Toulouse is owned by the same company that owns AC Milan as well. They own Toulouse first, so maybe Milan is kind of like a younger step sibling of Toulouse. Who knows? Isn't that funny?
Maybe they'll have a partnership in life sometime.
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe sometime.
Well, I partially agree with you. I think Lorient is finishing 4th. With the signings of
And you're giving me a hard time for them finishing 5th. Okay.
I was giving you a hard time about Toulouse. I'm looking over at those notes. I'm cheating.
Why not? They won the Coupe de France last year.
But they're in the Europa
They
League.
beat Nantes 5-0 or 5-1.
Yeah.
They crushed.
It was a great final.
Well, they are in Europa League now, playing Liverpool.
Lorient's going to finish 4th. Benjamin Mendy, solid signing. He was great before the controversy. Yeah.
Okay.
They made another signing. I can't really recall.
Somebody on loan from PSG, and I can't remember the name.
Yeah, I can't
Some of you
either.
probably do, but I don't remember the name. I guess we probably should look that up. But who knew? I didn't know that question was going to come. This is spontaneous.
I do my studying.
Well, if you did your studying, you would have known that name.
Yeah.
And usually you know the names. Number 3, who do you have?
Number 3, I have Marseille.
Ooh, that's interesting
Playing at
because
the
that makes
Orange
me wonder.
Velodrome. They are a great club. They made a splash in the transfer market. Aubameyang, Ndai.
Well, we'll see what Aubameyang does. He's been a disappointment for a while now.
Great transfer window so far. Marseille are finishing troisième.
Okay, I have finishing 3rd is Lens, RC Lens. Yeah, who finished 2nd last year? RC Lens. Yeah, is it Lens? They don't. Do you pronounce the S? I don't know. Anyway, RC Lens, and we're going to see them play today when they are visiting Monaco. So.
You know, Lens are focusing on their first time in the Champions League. I think there is a healthy balance between the Ligue 1 and Champions League, or European competition. I think they will not finish in top 5. Second is Monaco.
Okay.
Second is Monaco, Balogun. Going to see them tonight.
Yeah, gonna watch
Barcelona.
Balogun play. Okay. So you got Monaco finishing 2nd?
I do, yes.
Okay. All right. 2nd, I have Marseille.
Yeah, why?
Yeah. Marseille, I think Marseille, if there's any team that's going to knock PSG off their perch, I think Marseille's ready to do it. I think they're going in the right direction. I just don't think they're going to do it yet. I just don't. I know the Le Classique between Marseille and PSG is the thing to watch. But, and Marseille knocked PSG out of the Coupe de France last year. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And but I just still don't think they're going to have the power to overcome PSG. Who is going to finish first?
I was about to, in my notes, to say Marseille are winning the league or Monaco are winning the league, but it's inevitable. PSG are going to win the league for the 12th time.
I don't think Monaco's going to finish above Nice. I think Le Gem's going to finish above in front of Monaco. I don't think Monaco's going to finish ahead of Nice. So
respectively, disagree.
Respectively disagree. Okay. I do think why being that we are biased and our judgment is clouded by our own preferences. Why don't you have OCG Nice finishing in the top 5 instead of like Toulouse, Lorient?
Nice
have
Rennes. Some of the best fans in the Ligue 1. They have one of the best stadiums, the best fans, and if they can back them enough, my opinion could change. The coach is getting them to play different. Do I think they have the chops to finish top 5? No. They don't have the quality. I think they're going to be there next year. I think probably they'll be there. But they don't have the chops to finish 5th.
Great point. Okay, I think they have the talent to finish in the top 5, but I just don't know if winning is a habit for OGC Nice yet. They still draw too much. They don't score enough goals. They don't put teams away when they do seem to be on their upper foot. Last week they played against Lyon, and OGC Nice dominated that game, and they could not score a goal. They could not win the game at home in front of a good crowd. Great ultras. I mean, that whole section's packed. It's the other sections they have to work on filling at that stadium.
To become a big club, what you have to do is you have to be able to go and you have to be able to throw PSG off their throne. But that's a step further. You have to be able to go to, say, into the Lyon stadium and beat Lyon when you're dominating. You have to be able to beat a team when you're dominating and you deserve the win, even when you don't deserve the win sometimes. That is a class club with quality.
Well, they've got a ways to go to get there.
When you can win over any circumstances.
Yeah.
Under any circumstances.
Yeah. So But I hope it does happen. I hope they do finish in the top 5.
It's a bit away, but I think they'll get there.
But we'll see. But either way, I think Ligue 1 is I pronounce everything wrong almost all the time. I'm working on it. I think Ligue 1 is a really exciting league to watch. And I think that's the thing. Yes, they're not as strong as the other 4. They're not as strong as the Bundesliga. They're not as strong as Serie A. They're not as strong as, of course, they're not as strong as the English Premier League or La Liga. I think they are strong. And I think that the thing is, they get a hard rap, and they deserve it because they lay eggs in international competition. All French teams were out of all European competitions last year, I think with 1 or 2 rounds left to go. And that was the only of the big 5 leagues that were there. They're not even ranked above that were knocked out like that, the big 5 leagues. They're not ranked this year above the Belgian league, or UEFA doesn't have ranked above the Belgian league or the Dutch league. But we wanted to do Ligue 1 because they're one of the big 5. We wanted to do them first, and we'll talk about the Dutch league too and the Belgian league too in an episode as well. So they got a ways to go, but it's exciting. It's exciting football. The fans are passionate. There's so much talent on the field. It's a great event. We're going to the Monaco game today from Nice, taking the train for 2 tickets to see Monaco play Arcelon, and it's all in. Train there and back, and our 2 tickets. We'll be spending under 25 euros.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Maybe about under 28 euros, all in. Now we'll probably get a drink or something to eat too. But I mean, 28 euros all in to get to Monaco and back. I mean, that's amazing. That is a great thing.
That's great pricing by the Ligue 1, and they do that so well.
Yeah.
I want to jump into some fun facts about the Ligue 1. So
give it to us.
Here,
Give it to us.
I gotta read out my notes. I'm sorry, guys. I did not memorize this.
You can put it up here so we can see your baby blues. Oh wait, yeah, like that. That's right. Perfect. Oh, that's too much. Oh, that's too much. Oh, that's perfect. Okay.
Yes. Titles. PSG 11.
Oh, PSG's won 11 titles.
And another fun fact is 9 of those 11 titles have been won in the past since 2013.
Yeah, since the Qatari ownership took over. So think about that, everybody. Before that, PSG had won 2 titles. When I started really getting into football over in Europe, this is a good story. Don't worry, we'll get back to it. This is a good story. PSG was just a mid-table club, top 10 club, top 6 club. The big club was Lyon, Olympique Lyon. They were winning every year they won, it seemed like. It was always Lyon.
Before that, it was Saint Etienne. Lyon was winning 7 years in a row.
And that's the rivalry. Lyon and Saint Etienne is a huge rivalry. Saint Etienne's not even in the top division anymore. I think they're in Ligue 2. But that is a gigantic rivalry. And Saint Etienne, tell us where Saint Etienne. How many titles have Saint Etienne won? 10.
1 below them. And they're just in the second league.
That gives you an idea of how big of a club Saint Etienne is and how many titles they have won. They've won 10 titles. So when PSG had won 2 titles in 2013, before Qatari ownership, or when the Qataris bought PSG, Saint Etienne had won 10 titles at that point.
And then next is Marseille with 9.
No surprise there. Huge club, passionate fan base, great fans, cool fans, great city.
But here's where it gets interesting. Nantes and Monaco, both with 8. I did not know Nantes or Monaco.
I didn't either.
Won 8 titles.
Not too surprised with Monaco. Seems like every big French player played with Monaco.
It's its own country.
But it's been Principality. Yeah.
But at 7 titles is Lyon, and at 6 is Bordeaux.
And we'll be talking about diving deeper into the special club of Bordeaux.
My friend named Etienne in the coming episodes, so that will be a fun.
Very special club. I mean, we watched the game at the end of last year.
Bordeaux native, he knows everything about that club.
That's going to be exciting. We watched the game, and man, you talk about a raucous atmosphere. I mean, that was exciting to watch that game, and that was a League 2.
Raucous.
You got to stutter when you say it, because that means it was almost too much. So, just a great atmosphere. I'd like to see a game there sometime.
With 6 titles is Reims. R-E-I-M-S. If you need to know how to spell it.
Yes, R-E-I-M-S. Good.
Balogun played for them last season.
Thank you for spelling
Number 4 is OGC Nice.
What did you say? Boom. OGC Nice with 4 Ligue 1 titles.
With 3 is Lille. I thought they had more than that, personally.
Yeah.
But can't argue with Wikipedia.
And they won one not that long ago. They dethroned PSG.
Yep. And at 2 titles, both Sochaux,
I think.
and C'était.
Now, Sochaux, one thing I do know, because I was just reading, there's a really good, on HITC7s, this guy does amazing videos on YouTube, and they're so educational. You learn so much. Just talked about the fall of Sochaux, and they're the club of Peugeot. That's in kind of eastern France, where Peugeots are made, and that's where the club Sochaux is. They've won 2 league titles, and I think way back in the day, back when 1932, when Ligue 1 was created, Sochaux was the big club.
Yeah.
So.
And C'était, who is now a dissolved club as of 2023.
We don't like to hear that.
Recently, they have 2 titles.
That's interesting, though.
That is an interesting.
And then what do we have? With 1 title, we have
Lens FC, Rouen FC, Strasbourg FC, Auxerre, and Montpellier.
All right.
FC.
Rounding it out. So you know what I find interesting about that, Nico? There's 17 different teams that have won the French title since 1932. We talked about La Liga last week, and only 9 clubs have won the La Liga title in a longer period of time. So I think that's really interesting that so many different French clubs have lifted that trophy.
Yeah, I think that's what makes the Ligue 1 more interesting, which we'll be talking about later too. What makes it interesting, what makes it not interesting.
Yeah, or interesting in a different way.
So many teams have won it before. I mean, not now, of course. PSG are the dominant ones.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, yeah, and it's not money, because a lot of these clubs are really backed by, very rich owners or big companies. And so, they have the potential, if they do things right, to knock PSG off. It's not like PSG is the only club with money in Ligue 1. So that's something that's important. Tell us about the teams that have the longest time in the French top division.
Well, the team who has the longest time in the top division is Marseille.
Marseille has been in the top division of France for how long?
70 years.
Boom.
Not consecutively.
Not consecutively.
But accumulatively.
Yes, of course. And second is Bordeaux, who have been in the top flight of French football for 67 years, followed by Saint-Étienne,
67.
And then this is crazy.
Sochaux has
There's that team
been
again.
there 66 years.
66 years.
When were they relegated?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. I'm sure somebody out there does. Rennes, 63 years.
Yeah. Lyon, 62, and Monaco, Nice, and Metz are all tied at 60.
61 years. So then that's between the years 1932, when Ligue 1 was created, and 2019. So, and these are fun facts. I love this stuff. I hope you guys love it too, because I dig this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the biggest stadiums. Okay,
That's
quiz question
one.
for you guys out there. Quick, can't cheat. What is the biggest stadium
in the comments?
Yes. What is the biggest stadium in France?
Well, we're about to tell you. That's the thing, though.
Time's up.
0. Yeah. All right. It's the Orange Velodrome of Marseille with 67,394.
How many said Parc des Princes in Paris? Probably a lot of you. Now, the real footballers, they knew it was the Velodrome Marseille, because that is a legendary place to watch a game. But it is.
And there is an interesting fact about that.
Yes.
In the 22-23 season, they averaged maxing out their seats every time, selling out every single game.
See, you can't compete with that. That's just the way it is. You can't compete with that.
That's what Marseille averaged. 67,000. I think it was in the 200s.
Legendary fans.
Yeah.
Legendary fans.
Second, I bet you can't guess it. 3, 2, 1. Groupama Stadium of Lyon. 59,186 seats.
Bam. And that's their new stadium, which is state-of-the-art, beautiful stadium. Yeah.
Amazing stadium, really.
Yeah. So, Lille is number 3.
Personally.
I haven't been there yet, but we're going to. Lille, number 3. Lille Stade Pierre-Mauroy.
Yeah, with 50,157.
Right about now, you're saying, where is PSG Stadium? Where is Parc des Princes?
Well, next, it's Parc des Princes of PSG, 48,583.
There you go.
That is surprising, though.
That is surprising.
I was like, when I found that out.
Yeah, I thought I was going to have to take you to the doctor.
But you want to know the smallest stadium, Dad?
I don't, but yes, I do.
It's the one you're attending tonight with your son. It's the Stade Louis II of Monaco.
Whoa.
18,000.
Wow.
That's a small
tiny.
stadium, and sometimes they don't even max it out.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Sounds like the Colorado Rapids, who have a bigger stadium than that, and they get usually like 12,000, 13, 14,000.
All right.
Sorry, there's another one. Okay, so...
Are you ready to dive deep with me into the talk about what we like and don't like of Ligue 1?
I am ready to dive deep.
All right, so let's talk about why you shouldn't watch Ligue 1 and why you should watch Ligue 1.
I don't think there's any reason why you shouldn't.
Well, I actually, let's dive into like...
I'd be interested to hear what your reason is, young man.
So there is 3 billion supporters of the EPL. And
when you say EPL, do you mean English Premier League?
English Premier League.
Okay.
And when you compare that to the Ligue 1...
Worldwide. That's worldwide. The viewership.
No, but Ligue 1 is 9 million Ligue 1 fans.
So 3 billion for English Premier League and 9 million for Ligue 1?
That is that's insane. And why aren't more people watching the Ligue 1? Well, let's talk about the TV rights.
Okay.
There's only 2 people two TV organizations that really show them. An expensive Amazon Prime Ligue 1 pass, which does not come with the Amazon Prime subscription. And
what is that? It's 15 euros a month to get basically all the Ligue 1 games on Amazon.
Well,
you gotta watch them.
It's a good deal, but when you think about it, also there's only BN Sports, and Canal Plus only shows like 1 match every weekend.
Yeah, so like here in
there's
France,
not many places that show it. You won't catch a Ligue 1 game on your local NBC Sports or Sky Sports.
Yeah, well, in America, that's the one league that you didn't get to see very often was Ligue 1. But, so the problem with the Amazon Prime, I think it's a decent deal for the fans. It's not a great deal for Ligue 1 because what happened was they had a different contract, they had a great contract going, and during COVID, I think 4 games into the season or something, and I can't forget the name of the company, dropped out, and so Amazon Prime got this great deal for Amazon Prime to show Ligue 1, but they paid for domestic rights for Ligue 1. They paid 255 million euros, which is like peanuts in the grand scheme of things. Ligue 1, if they want to become a big player, they're going to have to get better TV deals, and I really think they could market their brand if they get their crap together and get bigger TV deals. Canal Plus pays BN Sports 330 million euros for rights to show BN Sport games, but that doesn't just include Ligue 1, that includes some Bundesliga games, and that includes some Serie A games, and that's on Canal Plus. So I think that's what needs to change for Ligue 1 to start growing in a bigger way. Like you can't just necessarily play, keeping up with the Joneses, because that doesn't always work. But you do have to increase the exposure of your brand. BN Sports pays 70 million a year to market Ligue 1 globally. All right, so that's not very high either. I mean, they've got to really start boosting these numbers and get better global coverage to become a bigger brand.
Mm-hmm. Well, we already talked about like PSG winning every year, but here is why you should watch it.
Yes.
The attendance / fans.
Mm-hmm.
Fans in the Ligue 1 are some of the best in the world. Ligue 1 butchered it. They did a record year in 22-23 where 9 million fans collectively went to the matches. And that's a good stat, and that's a record compared to 8 million the past 7-8 years before that. Most clubs are averaging a sellout every single match.
In Ligue 1?
In Ligue 1.
Wow. That is a powerful stat. Mm-hmm. That's a really powerful stat.
That's a powerful stat. And when you see those fans, when you hear them through the television, sitting on your couch, or when you're there at a game, the ultras are showing up, and the fans who aren't ultras show up, singing the songs because they love their team.
Yeah, I mean, one of the questions I get is, why isn't Ligue 1 a better team, like a better league in Europe, when France produces some of the most talent in the world? when there's so much talent in the world? I mean, I don't know if there's any real answer to that. I mean, there's so much talent in Ligue 1 and Ligue 2, but so many of these French players are international. I mean, I don't really feel like, unlike the Italians and the English, I don't feel like the French players felt like they had to stay in France to play. And maybe some of that is because they felt like maybe the competition wasn't good enough, so they went to England, they went to Germany, they went to Italy, they went to Spain. But it's just, there's so much talent in France that every single league you watch, there's French players everywhere. And then in Ligue 1, there's French players everywhere. So, I mean, they're just all over the place, and I think that's what's really special about what France is producing, all the talent they're producing. But it doesn't necessarily translate to a great domestic league, but it's a very entertaining domestic league.
Yeah.
Besides PSG winning every year.
The facts speak for themselves, but I would love Ligue 1 to be higher in the UEFA rankings.
Yeah, it'd be fun. Yeah.
Another reason is their academy. They have produced some of everybody's favorite stars.
Who?
Zinedine Zidane came from AS Cannes. Thierry Henry came from Monaco. Dembele came from Rennes. Mbappe, as you know, came from Monaco, which the fee in which PSG bought him from is higher than what Amazon bought Ligue 1 rights for.
Yeah.
Cantona came from Auxerre, you Man United fans. Benzema from Lyon.
Michel Platini came from Nancy.
Yep. Ronaldinho they bought him, but he came up from PSG.
Yeah, PSG brought him to Europe, really, didn't? Yeah, PSG brought him to Europe.
One of the greats, Patrick Vieira from AS Cannes.
Ooh, AS Cannes. Basically, a lot of these players were down in the south of France at one point or another. I don't know, maybe the Mediterranean has something to do with it. Maybe it's the water. Who knows?
The water is...
It is special, though. So, that's really interesting. There's so many French players we could get into. Who are your favorite French players?
Okay. So,
I
gotta say Thierry Henry and Zinedine Zidane, but there's one I'm not mentioning, and that is Patrick Vieira.
Ooh.
Patrick Vieira, just ball-winning midfielder. As a midfielder myself.
Think this guy's an Arsenal guy or what?
I love Patrick Vieira. He wins the ball in the midfield.
But how do you know about Patrick Vieira? Because you're only 13 years old,
okay.
So talk to us here.
I may be 13.
Because you know people out there will be like, young man, what do you know about Patrick Vieira? You weren't even alive yet. That's what they're saying. So how do you know about Patrick Vieira?
Well, of course, from you. I was forced to be an Arsenal fan.
Don't trust me.
And now I love it. And I've got to learn about the Invincibles, and I've watched highlights, of course. Who hasn't?
I've watched a lot of highlights.
I mean, Patrick Vieira in his day was not as great as of a manager, but...
Well, so far.
So far.
Yeah.
And then if you people who say I don't know who Patrick Vieira is and I didn't watch him, I'm gonna name a current star for you. I love Paul Pogba, and I know he has a problem with injuries, but current player who I've seen play in the 2018 World Cup, win it.
He was amazing.
In the French team, I love Paul Pogba. He has just an elegant touch. He's just so good when he's on the ball.
Yeah, misunderstood player in some ways, I think. Seemed to divide a lot of people. I can't believe that you didn't say Kylian Mbappe.
Okay, I love Kylian Mbappe so much. He's such a fun player.
Oh, you love him? No. But you didn't bring him up when I just had to ask you about bringing him up. Why is that?
Because he's not my favorite player.
Really?
He's not my favorite French player.
Okay.
I love Kylian Mbappe and I love the way he plays.
Yeah.
For me, he's not the same love as Paul Pogba.
Okay. I really like Paul Pogba a lot, and he's largely responsible for that 2018 World Cup win from France. I think he's misunderstood. When that guy's on, he is just a game changer. Kylian Mbappe, I think in some ways Kylian Mbappe is underrated. There's no doubt that the greatest players in the world right now. I think we can move the conversation a little bit away from Messi, even though he's doing great in Miami. He's so energized about football again. You can just see the joy he's playing with. It's so good for football in North America, or soccer in North America. But Kylian Mbappe and you know, Erling Haaland. I mean, that is what's so fun to watch. And they are different players, and they're both kind of underrated in ways, because Kylian Mbappe does a lot of things that he doesn't get enough credit for. Like, he's a great assister. He's a great passer of the ball. He is not just this explosive guy that breaks through on goal, great dribbler, scores goals. He is selfless. He's a game changer. He's money. Erling Haaland's the same thing. And Erling Haaland's big, he's physical, and he can be a poacher, but he can also do other things as well. They're both two-footed players. I think it's going to be a lot of fun in the years to come to watch these two head-to-head, and then the other players that come into the mix as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I like...
I know you love Zidane, too.
Oh, he's the greatest player I've ever seen play. Like, well, that's tough to say. Zinedine Zidane, Ronaldinho, and then a huge Thierry Henry fan. Then we got to talk about, you know, the Messi. I mean, watching Messi play at Barcelona during those years of the mid-2000s, or mid to late 2000s and into the 2010s. I mean, watching Messi play with Barcelona, maybe the greatest player I've ever seen. But Zinedine Zidane, Thierry Henry, Ronaldinho, these players are unbelievable.
Yeah.
And there's more too, guys. We're just talking French players here. Mm-hmm. So Ronaldinho's not one of them. Ronaldinho's Brazilian. I'm aware of that. So
we're aware of that.
We're aware of that. I know where it is on the map too. I could point it out on a map.
All right. And before we end, anything else?
Well, okay. Yes, I got some questions for you.
All
and
right.
These are just fun questions. And you know, I want to get people chiming in from out there, because what we're looking for, we want to do kind of shows on clubs around Europe. Really cool, interesting, small clubs around Europe. They don't have to be small. They can be medium-sized and even big clubs. We want to get people involved in this with us, so we can learn about clubs and cities and the culture and the traditions and everything else. So I want to ask you, speaking of Ligue 1, what are your favorite teams in Ligue 1? What are the teams that you kind of, when they lose, you're a little upset by it, you like to see them win? If they're on, you tune in. You feel like when you go see a game, these are the places you want to go see a game. I know OGC Nice is one of your favorite clubs because they're a local club, so we go to those games. You don't even have to include them because I know they're already included. Yeah. So what, other than our local club, OGC Nice, who else do you like?
Well, I'm always bummed when Toulouse lose.
Yeah.
You know, I love the purple. I love Toulouse. I love seeing them play. I watched them fight so hard to get that draw against PSG this season. And the second game week. I mean,
yeah, and they're proud of them. And, you know, they're building something really good there. And they can say that Toulouse is a rugby town, but if that, you know, maybe it is a rugby town. It can be both a rugby town and a football town. The football team outdraws the rugby team. And that doesn't mean it's not a rugby town.
But people in Toulouse do not say that the football team is bigger. If you go up to some people...
It's a rugby town. It's like, that's interesting because the Toulouse football team gets more fans than the rugby team does. So I don't know. Is it really a rugby town? I think the rugby fans have a big hang-up with football. Football fans don't really have a hang-up with rugby. They want to go watch the rugby. Yeah, respect rugby. Rugby's cool. I'm looking forward to the World Cup. But it just really seems like the rugby fans always got to tell everybody they're a rugby guy when you ask them if they like football. Oh, I'm a rugby guy.
When is the Rugby
great.
Champions
That's great.
League
Can you
final?
watch football too? What's up?
When is the Rugby Champions League final?
You're asking the wrong guy. It's this month. It's starting here in France. So don't put me in a spot like that. This guy, why is he doing that to me?
I have a soft spot for Lille.
Yeah, for Lille. Yeah.
I do. I love seeing them play. I like Jonathan David, the Canadian.
Okay.
They used to have Tim Weah. But it's not just about players. I just loved when they snatched that Ligue 1 title from PSG. I've had a soft spot for them since.
Okay. Nice.
All right. And I got one question for you before we wrap it up. What do you think about the Ligue 1 going from 20 to 18 teams?
Well, I think right off the bat, I don't know if I understand why they do this. I was trying to read a little bit more about it, but it seems fine. You know, the Bundesliga does 18 teams as well.
16 now.
No, 18. Bundesliga is still 18 teams. Ligue 1's 18 teams. But I think they did it. They had a smart reason for doing it. Because what I understand, they did it to get a playoff going. So here's how it works. 4 teams got relegated last year to even it out. 2 teams from Ligue 2 got promoted to Ligue 1. So now the team that is in 17, so it's 18 teams. The team that's in 15th place in Ligue 1 will play the team that's in 3rd place in Ligue 2 for a playoff at the end of the year to see if the third place team can get promoted and the 15th place team in Ligue 1 gets demoted. So there'll be a playoff between these two teams, and that'll be a huge game because that means a lot of money's on the line, and it's relegation, promotion. Does this team stay up? Do they get relegated? Does this game stay Ligue 2, or do they get promoted? So that's going to be huge, and I think a lot of fans will be tuning in. That what you got to realize is we're so bombarded with English Premier League in America and everywhere else because they've been so marketed so brilliantly. The Coupe de France is a huge deal. Wherever you are in France, the Coupe de France games are everywhere. So when that's going on, you got clubs that you haven't heard of here in France, just like everywhere else that you've never heard of. They're playing each other, and people are tuned into these games, and they know these teams. And see, we're learning a lot of these because there's clubs that I'm like, whoa, gee, where's this? I'm looking on the map, and they are tuned in, and it means something. So, this runs deep. It runs deep everywhere, and it's just so fascinating to learn more and more. And so I'm just really excited about continuing to learn about, football in France, just like everywhere else in Europe. So.
And to all you Ligue 1 haters, and I know there's a lot of you out there on social media. I see everything you're doing. I'm watching over you. Ligue 1 is a great league. It's some of the best matches with arguably some of the best teams sometimes.
Yeah. Well, then does it really matter?
At that point, I think we're going to leave you to your day.
Leave it to your day. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting us. Put your comments down below. Just be cool with them. We're just having fun here, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Like and subscribe if you wish.
Thank you.
Next time.